Sci-fi Express Lane. New angle, still don't like it. About to switch it whenever I get around to it. Maybe tomorrow. But anyway, saw Jurassic Park, just Jurassic World. Just want to talk about sequels, right? The power of sequels, continuing the story, all that good stuff. It's cool, you know, it's good to have a sequel. I don't think anybody who's seen Aliens will say that sequels aren't good. Halloween 2, ain't nobody gonna say that sequels are bad if you've seen Halloween 2. I mean, Planet of the Apes gave us some good stuff. Terminator certainly, gave us some good stuff in the second sequel, right? And why do we like sequels, right? Part 2, Lord of the Rings was a beautiful trilogy. Matrix, the second one wasn't bad when it started going downhill, right? Of course, you had Hunger Games, which was just really one long story. So I think there's a different type of sequel, right? Like John Wick is going on another chapter. I think when people put the hate on sequels, it's for sequels that like come out of the blue, that weren't written to have a sequel when the first story was written, and it's sort of like a hustle. I mean, Underworld, we wanted all three of those, but I don't know if we wanted the fourth. Or, I don't know. I mean, they definitely have gotten a bad reputation. And it isn't because of Denzel Washington, because there's some beautiful sequels that have been done. I'm thinking of Bad Boys, they definitely didn't want to do 3 parts, but once they did, the brand kept delivering. As much as we hate Fast and Furious 5000, they're not any more or less disappointing than the first sequel. I mean, and to be honest, the first sequel was not as good as the fourth and the fifth. And the Tokyo Drift joint, we just gonna leave that in another one because it didn't even feel like the same story. And are we saying that, production companies and brands have to find their way along the sequel path? Oh, man, I hate to say it, but maybe they do. I mean, for me, probably better than the original movies was Freddy vs. Jason. I mean, the rewatch ability for me to watch these two brands collide was priceless. And I'm going to tell you, as much as I love Godzilla and King Kong, the new one is better than the first one. Even though the first one was like done a long time ago, people still hate on these sequels no matter what. And then the most famous 2 sequels of all, these is always like my trump cards when people talk about sequels and they say I hate sequels. Then I say, well, you must not have wanted to see. Well, it's not really sequel, right? These are not really sequels, but some sequels have elements of remakes in it. But people don't realize that the Al Pacino Scarface was a remake, right? The original Scarface, I think, was done in the 30s. It was done with the mob energy, and he was Italian. He came from Italy and quickly moved up the drug and gangster ladder, right? And then we know the I'm gonna forget the Julie Garland, right? I remembered the Julie Garland Wizard of Oz was like the 8th one, So I don't know. I mean, we could probably hate on like remakes and sequels. The Godzilla reboot was a reboot, and then they put sequels all in there. Planet of the Apes was reboots, some sequels all the way up in there, because they stretched it out and said we can make this 3. But I don't know. I mean, I'm going to say that there are some seriously horrible sequels that should have never been done, like Independence Day, right? That should have never been done. Then there's like the third and the fourths, like, fourth Alien kind of got tired for me. Okay, I like the Charles Dutton joint, and I like, of course, the second one, but boom. Now, to me, the companies that really do it the best are Star Trek and Star Wars. And I think what makes a good brand to be able to sequel is the universe. And I'm gonna get to Jurassic Park, right? What I think really helps a brand have sequels is the universe. When I say the universe, the world that it's in. Star Trek and Star Wars are set in space. And one thing that Star Trek and Star Wars tell us, or at least Star Wars, God dog, is that everybody and everything has a backstory. So any minute they can make a backstory. I've seen stories on how they get the crystal in the lightsaber for the Jedi, and they made that interesting, and what they have to do, blah blah blah. Did they, seem like they knew that was what it all that went into it when they first made the first movie? Heck no. And then sometimes with sequels, you have to take that into consideration that, they're giving you a backstory, and to be honest, they have to tread lightly because they can't tell you anything in the backstory that didn't really come out when you were introduced to the character or the dynamic, whether it's a weapon, whether it's a place, right? Some sequels have just highlighted, you stopped at this planet. What happened? What goes on this planet on a regular? And science fiction is a beautiful looping thing. Where the question of what if can be asked about anything. If this goes on, holy moly! And if this had happened, oh my God, it's limitless. What makes a good sequel is not only do they answer one of those questions, how do we get here, right? But they make it interesting and dynamic. It's got to be a Rogue One. Rogue One is a sequel in between stories. So not only did it have to tread lightly on the character's history, it had to tread lightly on other characters' futures. So that's why kind of everybody died in Rogue One. But it filled in a needed element on how the heck did they kill or destroy the Death Star? How did they know to do that? And sometimes that's a cool thing about sequels. They can fill in information, and as much as that was a sequel, it was also a prequel, and those are cool too. I'm trying to think of a movie that had a sequel that was really a prequel. I can't remember. It don't come to my head right now, but that's another element that can be done if it's done right, like the origin story of somebody. Those things can be really, really interesting. And I say Star Wars, but it can be anybody. I mean, I'm thinking about like, how did Mace Windu get to be who the heck he was? You know, when I saw the movie Get Out, I was like, damn, how did those two black people that was already in the house, how did they get there? You know, and mind you, most of these questions are answered in tie-in material, whether it's a tie-in novel or whether it's a tie-in comic book. One of those things, you know, can, you know, especially when we're talking about movies, we don't really say sequel when it comes to books. And comic books just have a way of people always expecting it's just going to continue and continue and continue. So if somebody writes another book in a comic book series, not too many people are surprised. They don't really get a lot of back law, you know. It's not really that bad. But movies, people are like, oh my God, another one. You know, they're always, oh my God, you got the complainers, the haters, and you know, I feel like sometimes it is exploiting a good thing. However, I'm looking at this new Predator, whether it's an origin story, backstory, well, I don't know what the hell. It's just a different story with the Predators coming in, which seems like this is a movie trailer called Prey, which nobody knew anything about, right? But Prey, again, they're looking into these predators coming to Earth before the Arnold Schwarzenegger first movie. And oh my God, it's amazing. Not really amazing, it's intriguing. And really that's what movies and trailers should be. They should be provocative. They should be intriguing, you know what I'm saying? All of that stuff, you know. It should be really cool for them to for that story to exist. What else I want to say? So here's the Jurassic Park, right? Jurassic Park has a beautiful universe. The universe plot includes, I had my breakfast because I'm here early, but the plot includes dinosaurs, or the universe includes dinosaurs. That's really the only hook. And while a lot of movies did dinosaurs before, Jurassic Park won it, not only because the CGI at the time looked real groundbreaking, but the whole stem DNA hook was like believable science. It's believable science. They're doing this stuff. And not that movies with believable science are a lot. No, everybody does believable science, and everybody tries to make this science believable in their movies, and many times it already is believable, but the execution is trash. Jurassic Park, the first movie was banging. The second movie, I think, with the bird cage or something, or the third movie, I don't know which one ever it was, when they took the dinosaurs off of the planet to downtown Los Angeles, that's kind of where they lost people. With Jeff Goldblum and his gymnastic daughter, who could have still been brought in some way. She could have been the black girl in this Jurassic Park, you know, because she could have said, I have an affinity, I already know dinosaurs. You know, y'all don't want to play with them. You know, it would have been a beautiful tie-in. But either way, Jurassic Park sequel does what all sequels should do, and that's really what all movies should do. It should it should intrigue you, make you feel better, you know, make you go, man, I didn't think of that. So, I'm sorry to be chewing, but yeah, I like Jurassic Park. They continued it with new science. This is what, 7 3 of the original, then 2, 6. This is 6. Jurassic Park 6, yo. I ain't hating on it. I think sequels are fine if you bring some new elements. Jurassic Park brought some new elements. They tied in a lot from before. It felt like it was a continuation of the first story. Inevitable. Now, where do I think it's gonna go? Shoot, I don't know anymore. When I saw the trailer, I was like, they're gonna go Jurassic Apocalypse, but I think they're not, because they like dinosaurs too much, and they don't want to portray them as the threat that some people think they are, and like they're going to take over the world. So I don't think they want to do that. Anyway, that's where I think it'll go. But yeah, man, give me your comments. I know people talk, right? A lot about sequels. People talk a lot about remakes. People hate on them. I've defended them because I'm a writer and I want to do some tie-in stuff. But give me your opinion. Comment, share, like this video, and subscribe. All right, I'm out of here. Sci-Fi Express Lane, Jeff Carroll. Peace.